Hello Visordown fans, welcome to Visordown Reviews, and today I'm looking at this, the Lexmoto LXS. It could possibly be one of the next top selling sports bikes on the market, at least for a 125, just purely because of how it looks. I've been riding this one around for a little bit of time and it's really done quite well. The styling is spot on, you can see that straight away. It's quite aggressive, it's really sporty, it's got underseat exhausts, which is unheard of in sports bikes nowadays, really. So yeah, let's give this thing a ride, let's give it a review, see how it does. And anything I miss, we'll cover at the end. Go through a little bit of spec, but I'm just going to talk about how it is to ride this beast. Sweet. It's a lovely evening. Let's go for a little ride. It's got 6 gears. Of course, it's a 125cc. You'd probably establish that by now. And it's brilliant fun on these little twisty roads. Brilliant fun. It's a 125cc machine, 4-stroke, single cylinder. This one is liquid cooled. And it's very sporty in the way that it's shaped, the way it handles.
First things first really is the price, because that's another standout point for this machine. And that will get you a capable 125cc machine that looks like this. It's a good price for a 125cc machine.
That's a little bit more upright. The steering is a little bit more neutral. The handlebars are sort of out towards you as well. But this one just feels a little bit more sporty. It puts out about 13.8 brake horsepower. It does fall off a cliff in terms of power when you get to the red line, which is around 10k. I'd walk that bike if I was you. But, your choice, buddy. But this thing does handle just like a nice little sports bike. In terms of style, it does look like a decent sports bike. You could compare it to, say, maybe the RS 125, the YZF-R 125, even maybe the CBR 125. But they don't necessarily have as much character as this. You can get it in a black and blue finish, or this one's in the dark grey and fluoro yellow, something like that. But you can see this one, I really like the styling of it. Underseat exhaust, of course, takes it to a new level.
A few other bits that you'd really come into when you're living with this bike is going to be the fact that the ergonomics and the shape of the bike and the sort of comfort when you're riding is very sporty. The seat is 790mm. And the bars are very sporty, so with the pegs and the bars and your seating position, you are in quite a hunched over position with the bars, and yeah, your feet are tucked up beneath you, and it's a really nice position to be in. I've actually ridden the RS 660, the R6, the LXR, the RS 125, and they're all quite sporty bikes that have very similar dynamics to this on the road.
I did ride the previous LXS production model, or the pre-production model I should say. And that was a lovely little machine. It, of course, was pre-production, so I just got the opportunity to test it out. And I really enjoyed it. Some of the things that did happen to me on that is that the seat got a little bit warm, a little bit toasty. To be expected with an underseat exhaust, but, you know, I've ridden this around for a little bit and it doesn't seem to get too warm on the behind.
The wheelbase and sizing is a little bit compact. It's 13mm, so 1,313mm as the wheelbase. And you do feel a little bit compact, or at least I do. If you're riding this around as a sort of youngster, someone that's maybe 17, 18, 19, that this is going to be targeted at, you'll get on with it fine. I fit on it perfectly well. My legs go into the indents of the tank, and it's a really comfortable place to be, I've got to say. Sticking in that area is the brakes. It's a combined braking system of discs, or pedal discs, front and rear. Twin discs at the front and a single disc at the rear with that combined braking system. It's quite fancy the way that they've done this, in fact, is that you put on the rear brake, of course the rear will come on, and one side of the front disc will come on. Put on the front, and then the other disc will come on. So if you're really in a braking situation where you need to scrub off speed quick, you can use both the front and the rear brake levers, and it will cut the speed quite nicely.
You can really chuck this thing around. It weighs 155 kilograms wet. With me on it, it's probably about double, but that's just because I'm a 6'3" reviewer. So I sort of run into that problem quite a lot. It's a comfortable machine. As I say, 6-speed. So when you really get to the top speed, which is around 69 miles per hour potentially, you can can flick it into 6th gear and it will just sit there, not too vibey or anything like that. It's just a nice little place to be. You can of course get a full tuck on, but I'm a bit too big to get a full tuck on, so I can't see anything out of my visor. It's the same sort of riding feel you get from this. It's telescopic forks and a single shock at the back, and yeah, it feels firm. You do feel the bumps, but it's not anything to chuck you out of the saddle. Speaking of the saddle, 790mm, so you know it's up there in terms of seat height, I guess you could say, but I felt it fine. I'm sure if you're say 5'6" and above, you'll get on with it fairly all right.
A few standout points that I like on this LXS, first of all, weirdly, is the key. It feels really aggressive. It's like a switchblade, like genuinely like a switchblade. I mean, how cool is that? You feel super cool sticking that into your bike and starting it out nice and aggressive. When you do fire it up, the lights are good. Wow. You can see the dash here. It's nice and bright, nice and clear in the night. In the day, it sort of is less blue, so you can see it really clearly. And you've got your indicator lights and stuff like that over here.
Now this is a good opportunity to test 0 to 60, but with a rolling start in second. It's not necessarily blisteringly quick, but with me on it, this is a quick A road, so if you say commuting around on this one, or you're just going to school or shop or anything like that, you get a good feel from the brakes. Yeah, if you squeeze them hard, not too hard, they don't really increase your stopping ability the further you squeeze them, but they stop you, they're comfortable to use. They are adjustable brakes as well in terms of the lever. The gear shifter is good. It's in a nice location for my foot. I can easily flick up a gear and down a gear without really moving my foot too far off the peg. But I have found that sometimes it's a bit guilty of not flicking into the right gear if you're not firm enough with it. I've also found that in the first gear area, sometimes it doesn't pull away without cutting out. You have to give it a few more revs than you initially think. So this LXS is a really nice machine for someone who perhaps is really into their sports bikes, has only just started recently riding, maybe the 17, 18, 19, and you can't quite go for the A2 just yet, and you're looking for a sports bike to tide you over, or just to enjoy. I mean, you know, this is a very enjoyable machine.
So Lexmoto, we're going to hope that this LXS takes over the throne of the LXR. I mean, the LXR has sold incredibly well, and it's one of the most popular sports bikes on the market to date, if not one of the most popular 125cc motorcycles on the market to date. You can speak a lot about the reliability of the LXR and what it's like to ride, and I think this LXS is going to be following that same vein. Now, this is a Taro GP2 or GP or something like that. It's Taro, and you get the Taro branding on the key, on the tank, and no doubt in a few other places when you look closer in the motor and that sort of area. But it's a Taro bike. Lexmoto brought it in, and I'm sure that they're going to be doing their research and doing their prep work to make sure that this is selling just as well, because you know that the demand is going to be there. So this has been the Lexmoto LXS. Really nice sports bike to ride, I've got to say. Get this around the twisties and the back rows and you'll have a great time. Lexmoto are going to be exceptionally proud of what they've created with this motorcycle. It's one that does it all, really, for a 125 at least, and I think it might well overtake the LXR in terms of sales and popularity, because if you're looking for a 125cc sports bike in particular, this is probably going to be right at the top of your list. In any case, let me know down below in the comments what you think of this LXS. Do you think it's going to take over as the new 125cc sports bike on the market that's hot, that everyone wants, that everyone looks at? Because I think it might be. Watch it down there, like the video, subscribe to Visordown so you stay up to date with all of our content. And hit us up on social media as well, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, a little bit of first impressions and stuff that you won't want to miss out on. So be sure to get over there as well. Until then, I've been Alex. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.